I was tired. Doubled over. I was tired. Doubled over on Third and Alvarado. It's not like it used to be here. Once surrounded on all sides by notorious street gangs. Nowadays, they are deeper in the side streets or displaced impoverished suburbs. For years, I wouldn't dare walk around here. Now, maybe I have a death wish. I left my car at home. I don't want to pay for the bus or ring anybody to pick me up. It's the middle of the day. The small streets are where it gets busy. You might get punked or punched on the big streets. In the small streets is where you get killed. I walk up to an open corner at Grandview and Ocean View. The same spot 15 years ago we were children and my brother got pressed by a fool from the Wanderers gang. I was 2 years older than him. My father walked away for a few minutes because he forgot his wallet. It felt like this dude appeared from out of thin air. Bald heads bring muerte, the grim reapers of my youth. I am transparent to him. He doesn't point his fist at me. I am no threat. Chubby kid, curly hair, wrong place, wrong time. My brother's baggy shirt, baggy shorts, long white socks, and a hat that doesn't even fit right onto his head. He isn't a threat either, but he looks like he might grow into one. If he doesn't like his answer, my brother's little head may never grow to fit into an LA hat. Where are you from? He says. I can't do anything. I can't even answer for my little brother. I don't bang, he says. Homie nods. Again, my brother isn't a threat, so right now it's okay. He believes him, and he walks away, nodding his head maliciously. And just as he walks away, my dad walks up to us, literally a minute after the confrontation. We don't say a word. My dad lives here. We don't want to bring him a confrontation. Nowadays, I pick up the speed. I don't look around frantically or make eye contact for more than a second. I cross that intersection, cars honking, looking both ways for what I have ahead of me to protect, and backward where I had been before. If I had a few singles, I'd catch the 16 bus. It would drop me off in front of the house. I should have a tab car loaded with money to not put myself in these situations. I am 28 years old. Well, now I'm 29. Out of shape, but still in good enough. I'm in better shape than when I wrote this, but still in good enough shape to walk long distances. I get to Alvarado. I keep my stare up. I don't look at the cars with intent. I look forward to my destination, Lucas and 3rd Street. My peace, my little room. It is a 15-minute walk from 3rd and Alvarado. 1 or 2 hills, 1 or 2 street gangs. The high school's emptied out not too long ago, but it is nearly 5 p.m. Maybe those kids got home. Maybe someone else already got robbed. Maybe punches were already thrown. Maybe I'm good. I shouldn't feel fear. I'm on my way home. On 3rd and Westlake, I look down that street fondly. My uncle lived at the blue building midway down Westlake, headed towards 6th Street. He lived there with his roommate. They couldn't just be homies. Everyone assumed they must be lovers. 2 Mexican dudes living together in the 90s. Shit, rent is expensive. Maybe they were that tight. Perhaps they were just good friends. Who knows? Only they do. Memorable is when he brought home a VHS copy of Faces of Death. I was 5 years old, watching images imprinted in my brain, and they traumatized me even to this day. I shake off the past. Hey! What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you barking like that? Both of you have interrupted me. Well, I was recording something. Now I don't want to finish. Because of you two. You, hey, Lucky, you. Why do you start barking? Birds are mad at you too. You got up on the table too, to lick the table. Because there was ranch on the table. Look at you, look. Nina acting like you didn't do it too. It was your fault too. Oh, you want me to pet you now, huh? You want me to pet you, huh? You want to be pet, huh? You want to be pet. You're being pet now. You're being pet. You're being pet now. You're being pet. You're being pet now. Woo woo woo. Woo woo. All right. That was the first draft. I'll just continue to its end. Where was I? My uncle ended up moving away because when he was working for Pizza Loca, or was it Pizza Hut or Domino's? Point is, he was working delivery for one of them, and down by MacArthur Park, he got stabbed. And they didn't kill him; they robbed him for whatever change he had, and he was able to like signal the men out. And he was in like protective custody for about a month. But the detectives said they couldn't take care of him all the time, so he ended up moving out and moving to Maryland. Get to Bonnie-Bras and 3rd. I peeked down Bonnie-Bras. No one menacing posted at that liquor store in front of the dilapidated motel. No one tucked into the alley. No one looking at me. I breathe a sigh of relief. On my left-hand side, I don't notice it. I don't see it. I don't make a fuss about it. I'll have to remove some of those. My mom worked there in a market called Numero Uno Market for about 5 years. She worked at the Liborio Market, which was at the exact location for another 10 years before that. Once upon a time, it was a Vaughn's. I was a little boy then. We lived on Miramar and Bonnie-Bras. We moved away from that building when I was 4 years old. Quickly, the faded red pickup pulls in close to me. Hurry up. I don't look at the driver in his eyes, besides a quick acknowledgement and the appearance of eye contact. Bonnie-Bras is behind me. I feel a little better as I walk up to Burlington Ave. If I fell long and hard, I'd break down and cry before making it across the street. On my right-hand side is a corner building we lived in when I was 3 years old. Mom says I learned how to walk there. I had a friend about 5 years older than me, maybe 6, 7 years older than me. My mom told me he became a big-time killer for the gang there, in and out of prison. I don't remember him. I don't know him. I was 3 years old then. In 1993, a few buildings down at 330 South Burlington, 12 people lost their lives in a gruesome apartment fire, including 7 children and 2 pregnant women. If the city cared, the gang responsible would be lifted off the face of the earth. It was a wayward stop in an apartment building with immigrants and anchor babies. They don't care about that. It has been forgotten, hopefully not by the people most affected. I don't want to bring light to the name of the gang involved, but if you know the area, you know who was at fault. The first residential building from 3rd Street on the left-hand side, my dad and Theo Chato lived there. I remember little about his time there. He lived there for about a year in 2011. All I remember is him being diagnosed with cancer when he lived there, disagreements and arguments with my uncle, who enjoyed smoking weed. My dad had to use my credit, build up debt, and an extensive credit history for me. My mom called him crying. We pulled up to him outside of the building, recently diagnosed with cancer. Tears in his eyes, papi, lo estoy arreglando. My mom from behind me yelling, ¿Por qué, Quique? ¿Por qué le hiciste eso a tu hijo? ¿Por qué, Quique? ¿Por qué le hiciste eso a tu hijo? He looked past my mom at me. Eli, estoy hablando con mi hijo. Really sad. He was really sad about that. I was about to graduate from high school. I couldn't even open a bank account at 17 years old because they said I owed them money. I wanted things for myself. I wanted my future to start off right. You did me like this, you handicap me like this. I'm not, whatever. I couldn't look my dad in the eyes. I was crying. I was angry. I was furious. Now I feel a little bit of guilt. I think it's a bit of pain. I remember the tears welling in my dad's eyes saying, Papi, Papi, over and over again. That he was going to fix it. He tried. He paid it off until the day he died. For a moment, I thought he had named me Luis Cuevas Jr. because there was a connection there. Maybe it was an identity he could use for a man without an identity. Sin papeles. When he finally got his legal status in January of 2016, he died 7 months later. Ha! What a world. On my left-hand side, headed up North Bonnie-Bras, I lived with my dad in a single when I was in college. My roommate, I miss him every day. I saw him a lot. I learned a lot. Memory lane, nostalgia during trauma. My backpack is heavy. My hands sweat. If a car full of cholos pulls up, I can show them it's a Werner Herzog book in my brown bag, not a Cella. I can open up my bag and be like, is it just books, homies? I fantasize about different things that said if they did pull out on me. I don't bang, that's clear, so they probably wouldn't. They probably want to jack me if they did pull up on me. Maybe I look like my brother a bit too much and he just punked one of these dudes. Perhaps I look enough like him and it's go time. I wouldn't even see it coming, just another dead boy on Union Ave. I have had nightmares. I buy time for my brother to run away and I get set on fire. I burn alive. I often caught strays in my mind for all the times I thought my brother wasn't home because he had died. For all the kids dead on the LA Times website. I walked by Gus's drive-in. I remember getting burgers there with my dad. Cheeseburgers. I hope Pepe remembers getting burgers there with me one day, far away, when I am no longer here. Double cheeseburgers. We split them. On Loma Drive and 3rd Street, I fall into a piece with my memories. The memories that come to mind this time are ones where I built up the legend of my mom. The rain had just passed. We dropped off Oliver at the daycare at 345 South Columbia, where we would eventually live. We headed up Loma, and right before we were to cut left in front of the Clark residences, we ate shit. I didn't cry, we laughed. My mom and I lay on the floor laughing. I also recall the altercation on the dash. My mom had just picked Oliver and I up from school, the dash packed with moms and their kids. I was sitting in front of an older white man. I smiled at him, he smiled at me, and then kicked me. My mom pulled back her fist and popped homie on the mouth without missing a beat. The cops showed up. They couldn't arrest a man without booking my mom as well. Since she punched him, we were a block away from the house. We spent the whole afternoon on Loma and 3rd going over what just had happened. I get down to Columbia Ave. We lived at 345 South Columbia for about 7 years. I don't have great memories of that time. My parents were falling apart. I could feel the diminishing love. I could feel the cancer grow inside my dad, the insecurity inside of my mom, the anger inside of my brother, and the resentment inside of me. I don't want to go down that street either. Final obstacle. If I can get by Whitmer unscathed, if I can avoid these foods, if I can cross the street then I'm home. Since 2014, different people have been murdered on Whitmer Street between 3rd and 6th Street. Guillermo M. Romero, 42, December 30th, 2019. Giovanni Miguel Cisneros, 19, December 15, 2017. Melissa Brianna Gutierrez, 24 years old, September 7, 2017. Samuel Alamillo, 33, July 14, 2017. Julio Adonai Nunez Bolaños, 46, January 24, 2017. Felipe Hernandez, 28, April 15, 2015. Juan Parga, 40, November 19, 2012. Juan Barajas, 41, December 19, 2011. Jose Luis Lopez, 16, October 7, 2006. Herman Gomez, 16 years old, February 25, 2005. Gabriel Rodriguez, 17, July 8, 2007. Antonio Villadares, 26, September 5, 2005. Stephanie Joanne McManus, 32, May 28, 2002. Baby girl McManus, 0, May 28, 2002. I don't know these people. They left behind loved ones. They left behind ghostly imprints across this length, the length of this dense Los Angeles street. Some of these shots rang death through my living room without knowing them. I felt them. Chismes about who they were and how they were when they died. Here I am waiting at the light, bald like many of them 28 years old like Felipe, or now a year older than Felipe. I have lived longer than half of them, still unrealized, still traumatized. My nerves couldn't stop a bullet. My words can't save any of these people. The smell of fresh bread being baked inside builds at the intersection. The aromas of Chapilandia. It's a funny ass name. The traffic lines the street, rushing past the green light. The 7-Eleven was once a dilapidated marketplace, and before that, Ben's Market, where my mom worked for a little less than 5 years. I look back, and the image of the Rockwood boys jaywalking across the street in their Steelers gear, hairnets, and Cortez project across my mind. Sitting in the back of the counter at Ben's Market, my mom kept her mouth shut. When they walked in empty-handed, they walked out with whatever they wanted. My long walk home. I walk these streets with pride. If I didn't feel like I died on one of these blocks, head tucked into my soul, my dreams and future in tow. I am going to change that line. I don't like how it ends. It's much shorter. This is a longer version of this. Yeah. I'm excited to work on this one.